What if 3 very different nuts could do more than just satisfy your cravings? What if they could actually help lower your blood sugar, melt away stubborn belly fat, repair damaged nerves, and even protect your heart, kidneys, skin, and hormones? All without spiking your glucose, not even a little. Well, in this video, we're diving into 3 of the most powerful nuts for anyone managing diabetes, especially folks over 60. And these aren't just your typical peanuts or almonds. One nut is quietly outperforming popular tree nuts when it comes to antioxidant strength. Another is so rich in rare, healthy fats that researchers are linking it to reversing insulin resistance. And the last one? You're probably already eating it, but chances are, you're not preparing it the right way to unlock its full healing potential. Stick with me to the end, because we'll also go over some practical tips and a quick, easy guide on exactly which nuts to choose, how much to eat, and how to use them to naturally transform your blood sugar, starting from the inside out. Let's begin with a nut most people have never even heard of, yet it may be the most powerful of them all. Baru nuts. That's right, baru nuts. Or as locals in Brazil call them, baru. They're technically seeds, not nuts, and they grow wild on the barazero tree in the Brazilian savanna. But don't let that fool you. Inside your body, they act like powerful medicine. Baru nuts support blood sugar balance, reduce inflammation, help insulin work better, and even protect your nerves, kidneys, heart, and skin. All with virtually no impact on your blood sugar. Their glycemic index is estimated to be under 20, with a glycemic load that's practically 0. That means they won't cause a sugar spike, not even for folks who are insulin resistant. Let's look at what's inside just 1 ounce of dry roasted baru nuts. That's about 20 to 22 nuts. You get roughly 170 calories, 12 grams of heart-healthy fats with a near-perfect balance of monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, 5 grams of plant protein, and 4 grams of fiber. This trio, protein, fiber, and fat, is the key to avoiding blood sugar crashes and staying full for hours. By the way, if you're enjoying this kind of helpful, natural diabetes advice, don't forget to click that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and share it with someone you care about. Leave a comment below, let me know where you're watching from. I love hearing your stories and your journey. And most importantly, watch this video all the way to the end, because the last nut on our list might be sitting in your kitchen right now, and you won't believe what it can really do for your blood sugar. Baru nuts are rich in essential minerals, over 23% of your daily magnesium, 15% of your zinc, 20% of phosphorus, and smaller amounts of potassium, iron, copper, calcium, and vitamin E in its most powerful form, tocopherols. All of these work together to support the exact systems diabetes tends to weaken: your insulin response, your nerves, your immune function, and your cardiovascular health. Here's something especially important for older adults managing diabetes. Magnesium plays a direct role in how your body uses insulin and processes sugar. And unfortunately, magnesium deficiency is common in people with diabetes, especially if you're taking medications like metformin. But studies show that eating foods rich in magnesium, like baru nuts, can improve insulin sensitivity by as much as 28%. That's a huge shift, especially if your blood sugar's been hard to control. Add in the fiber, and you're getting a second layer of protection. Fiber helps slow digestion, reduce sugar absorption, and even feed the good bacteria in your gut, which can also improve blood sugar control. And here's a little-known fact. Baru nuts have more antioxidant power than cashews, Brazil nuts, and even walnuts in some lab tests. That's why they've been called the peanut of the future in Brazil, because they're sustainable, affordable, and packed with healing nutrients. The zinc in baru nuts helps with tissue repair, immune strength, and even hormone production. That's especially important for men with diabetes, who may be dealing with hormonal or fertility challenges. The vitamin E acts like an antioxidant shield, protecting your blood vessels from sugar damage that can lead to diabetic neuropathy, vision loss, and kidney problems. And then there are the polyphenol, natural compounds like catechins and gallic acid, that fight inflammation and protect your organs from damage caused by oxidative stress. Here's a myth I hear all the time. If it's not a true tree nut, it can't really help. That's just not true. Even though baru nuts are technically seeds, they outperform many popular tree nuts, including almonds and peanuts, when it comes to antioxidant power and blood sugar stability. And here's another bonus for folks over 60. Baru nuts are low in phytic acid. That means your body can actually absorb the magnesium, zinc, and iron more efficiently, something that's especially important for older adults whose digestion and absorption aren't as strong as they once were. Next on our list, the buttery, smooth, and totally underrated macadamia nut. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Macadamias? Aren't those the fancy ones in white chocolate cookies? Well, yes, but when eaten the right way, macadamia nuts are one of the most diabetes-friendly and heart-protective foods on the planet. In fact, their glycemic index is 0. And their glycemic load? Practically non-existent. That's because they contain almost no carbohydrates. And for anyone dealing with high blood sugar, that's a huge win. Here's what you get in just 1 ounce, about 10 to 12 whole macadamia nuts. 21 grams of total fat, nearly all of it the good kind. 2 grams of fiber. 2 grams of protein. Barely 1.5 grams of total carbs. Plus, meaningful doses of thiamine, magnesium, manganese, copper, iron, and an advanced form of vitamin E called tocotrienols. But the real magic of macadamias lies in their fat profile. While some nuts have a mix of helpful and harmful fats, macadamia nuts are made up almost entirely of monounsaturated fats, the exact same kind that gives olive oil its anti-inflammatory, heart-protective reputation. These fats literally help your cells become more insulin sensitive. They reduce insulin resistance, support the structure of your cell membranes, and allow your hormones to work the way they're supposed to. In one human study, folks with type 2 diabetes who added macadamia nuts to their diet saw up to a 25% drop in LDL cholesterol, that's the bad kind, and a 15% improvement in insulin sensitivity. And all that happened in just 4 weeks. No drugs, just food. Magnesium supports glucose metabolism. Thiamine boosts energy at the mitochondrial level, important for anyone struggling with fatigue, tingling nerves, or roller coaster insulin levels. Macadamias don't just help your blood sugar. They also protect your nervous system. Their vitamin E tocotrienols penetrate deep into brain and nerve tissue, helping reduce oxidative stress in areas where diabetics often experience complications, like brain fog, memory decline, and neuropathy. And there's more. Macadamias are one of the few foods that contain a rare omega-7 fat called palmitoleic acid. This fatty acid supports liver health, reduces visceral fat, yes, that dangerous belly fat, and increases satiety, meaning you'll feel full longer and crave less sugar. That's why macadamias don't just treat symptoms, they go straight to the root causes of insulin resistance. Did you know? Macadamia nuts were once so rare and valuable that indigenous Australians used them as currency. They called them Kindle, and today, macadamias are still among the most expensive nuts per pound worldwide. But when it comes to your health, especially hormone balance and metabolic recovery, they're worth every penny. The monounsaturated fats, manganese, and magnesium in macadamia support adrenal function, balance thyroid hormones, and even improve testosterone and estrogen production. So, if you're over 60 and dealing with fatigue, hormonal shifts, or stubborn weight, this nut can help your body respond faster to positive changes. Let's clear up a myth. Macadamia nuts are too fatty for people with diabetes. That's old thinking. It's not about how much fat, it's about the type. And the fats in macadamias are the type that reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and support cardiovascular health. They also offer rare skin healing benefits, especially important for older adults with dry skin or slow wound healing. Their tocotrienols and palmitoleic acid support collagen, cell regeneration, and hydration, working from the inside out. That's why macadamia oil is often used in diabetic skin creams. But eating them gives you the full benefit throughout your body. Here's a delicious recipe you can try. Macadamia crusted salmon bites. Crush a 1/4 cup raw macadamia nuts. Mix with garlic powder and smoked paprika. Coat 6 small chunks of wild salmon in olive oil. Press them into the nut crust and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 15 minutes. This gives you protein, omega-3s, and healthy fats, all in one blood sugar-friendly, anti-inflammatory dinner. Here's a tip. Macadamias make a great bedtime snack. Because they digest slowly and contain no sugar, they help prevent overnight blood sugar drops, a common issue for people who wake up with high morning glucose due to the dawn phenomenon. But as always, moderation is key. Macadamia nuts are calorie-dense, so stick to about 1 ounce a day, a small handful. Choose raw or dry roasted unsalted varieties. Avoid flavored, honey-roasted, or chocolate-dipped options. They sneak in sugar and cancel out the health benefits. And skip nut mixes packed in inflammatory oils. Always read the label. Alright, let's move to the final nut on our list, and this one is probably already in your kitchen. Almonds. Don't be fooled by how common they are. Almonds are anything but ordinary, especially for people with diabetes. They're among the most studied and most blood sugar-friendly foods on Earth. Glycemic index? Between 0 and 15. Glycemic load? Close to 0. They digest slowly, release energy gradually, and never cause blood sugar spikes, when eaten in proper portions.